During the week I met up with Heather. Heather and her family live just round the corner from us. We did a bit of shopping together. She needed some tops and skirts for work, and a couple of clothing shops on the high street were having a sale. She bought some lovely skirts. She got 3 long skirts, very warm, made of wool, perfect for the colder months, and a couple of short ones. She said she'd wear the shorter skirts with some thick tights. She got a couple of turtleneck jumpers as well. The shops weren't too busy. We managed to get around quite quickly without bumping into people or queuing for too long. I picked up a couple of pairs of jeans for myself and gloves for the kids. They're forever losing their gloves. I got them a hat each as well, though neither of them like wearing hats. But they'll have to wear them when the weather gets colder. I was on the lookout for a winter coat for Luke, but I thought it was probably best if he comes with me, so he can pick the one he likes and try it on. He's grown so much over the last couple of months. He's already got a lovely thick coat, but the sleeves are too short now. We popped into a phone shop as well. George's mobile phone has been playing up lately. It won't hold charge at all. But in all fairness, he has had that phone for a long time now. Must be going on 5 years. Something like that. Anyway, I just had a quick browse to see what they had. George has been looking at YouTube videos to see which one's the best one this year. I don't think he's decided on one yet. He's actually quite fussy about tech. He loves looking at all that spec stuff on YouTube. We stopped off at the cafe for a drink. We both decided to try one of those fancy festive coffees. We both liked it. I had one with ginger and cinnamon. Heather got the one with white chocolate. It was actually nice for a change. Heather was saying that she was looking for boots as well, but would take a look online. We must have sat in the cafe for a good half an hour having a chat. Then we walked home together. It's a nice 15-minute walk from the high street to home. When I got home, I went into the garden. I didn't do any work out there. It was just a nice afternoon, so I sat on the bench. The garden looks lovely at this time of year. The leaves are so beautiful. I sat there for a while. Next door's cat came over to say hello. She always comes over when one of us comes out. I spent the rest of the afternoon doing laundry. I did an hour's ironing as well. I cleared quite a few basketfuls. I do love to iron. I find it relaxing. I just put myself in the living room in front of the TV and plough through. I really do find it quite therapeutic. I know a lot of my friends can't stand ironing. Jenny from work says she never bothers. Hasn't ironed anything in years. My friend Heather loves ironing so much. She even irons our bed sheets. I do make sure that the sheets and duvet aren't all crumpled up, but I don't iron them. We took a parcel in for shorts and t-shirts, John. George answered the door and gave him the parcel. He told George it was a new harness for his son and some chalk. The whole family do rock climbing, you see. He said they'd just gotten back from wall climbing. Said they had a great time. Well, most of their weekends and all of their holidays are spent hiking and climbing. They're a very action-packed family. He was saying to George, his son's really getting into BMX riding. So he's going to look into maybe getting him a bike of his own. But he'll wait a few months. No point getting him one, just for him to lose interest after a few months. George has been quite the handyman today. He tightened the handle on the bathroom door that's been wobbling for the past few weeks now. Funny how now it actually feels strange without the wobble. The bulb in the hallway had been flickering for a few days, and he replaced that as well. I made us both a cup of tea. I told him about the festive coffee Heather and I had earlier in the week. He said he might give it a try himself. As nice as it was, there's nothing like a nice cup of tea. Though Heather did say she might have one now, every day, right up until they stop doing them. George drank his tea with 2 of his favourite ginger biscuits. George said Rob from work brought in some Christmas biscuits for everyone. I asked if he liked them. Perhaps we'd get some for a change. He said they were all right, but he'll stick to his ginger biscuits. Ever since we met, those are the biscuits George always has with a cup of tea. He will have a chocolate digestive every so often, but he never gets tired of his ginger biscuits. Earlier in the week, George, myself and the kids took a stroll to the common. We just fancied going for a walk, and it was a nice evening. It was a little fresh out, but not freezing cold or anything. Anyway, it was nice to get out in nature, and the kids had a good run around. Luke rode his bike, and Lexi took her scooter. It wasn't overly crowded or anything, but there were quite a few people out. Dog walkers, people flying kites. George said we should get a kite. We agreed. We agreed that we'd look into it. It's funny that, for as long as we've been going to the common, we never thought about getting a kite before. On the way home, we were walking past the Baxter's house. They live about halfway down the street. Probably about 8 doors down from us, but on the opposite side. Well, anyway, they had a big skip in their front garden with lots of wood. Mr. Baxter was filling up the skip. We stopped to have a chat. He told us he was getting rid of his shed. Said he's building a new one, much bigger. And his brother was supposed to come and help, but he couldn't make it. George said he could spare a few hours and he'd be happy to help. So last week, George was helping out the Baxters for a few days. Said he really enjoyed it. And in the end, Mr. Baxter's brother did manage to come over for 3 days or so, for a few hours to help out. It's all finished now. It's a big shed, plenty of space for the family's bikes and the children's scooters. Mr. Baxter does a lot of fishing, so he'll keep all his fishing equipment in there as well. As a thank you, they've invited us out to dinner. We said there was no need, but he and his wife insisted. So next Saturday evening, we'll all be off out to the Calvary on the High Street for a nice roast dinner. We're all really looking forward to it. They serve really good food at the Calvary and do really good desserts as well. We go there quite often. Tonight we're just staying home, having a quiet night in. Lexi's doing some drawing and colouring around the table, and Luke's watching videos on his tablet. And George is still trying to figure out what phone to get. He has narrowed it down to 3 now, though. Every time he explains them to me, they all sound the same. But apparently, one of them has a better camera and the other one has a better battery. He said he actually thought he'd decided earlier, then watched another review and wasn't sure anymore. So now he's back to the same 3 again. He's got them written down on a bit of paper, so he doesn't forget which ones they are. He'll choose one eventually, without really knowing why. That's how it usually goes. One more video, one more opinion, and then suddenly it'll be ordered. We'll probably choose a film we can all watch a bit later. I think I'll do some popcorn. We like to make our own on the stovetop. We had a bit of salt and some sugar. Nothing beats warm popcorn. I spoke to my sister Rachel on the phone earlier. She was in the middle of cooking when I rang. I asked her what she was making. She said she wasn't really sure yet. She said she started with one idea and then changed her mind halfway through. Something with chicken, she said. She said she might have added too much garlic, but that never really matters in the end. She mentioned that she signed up for a drawing class. It runs for 7 weeks. She'll go once a week for 2 hours. Just basic drawing. Pencils, charcoal, that sort of thing. She said she hadn't drawn properly since school days and probably wouldn't be any good at it. but she enjoys drawing and wanted to give it a try. Well, I said to her, if you enjoy it, that's the main thing. Don't worry about whether or not you'll be any good or not. She said it starts next week. She's looking forward to it. Anyway, I could see she was a little distracted with her cooking, so I said I'd let her get on. I asked her what she was doing tonight. She said they were staying home this evening, that she'd be practising sketching. I asked the kids to choose a film each. They both chose comedies. George has given up deciding on what phone he'll get for now. I'll get the popcorn on and we'll settle down for the evening watching these films. We'd already seen both films hundreds of times, but it still gives us a real belly laugh. In all the same places. We all think it makes it better that we've seen it lots of times. One of us will always do one of the actors' lines in the way that they say it. After watching both films, Lexi and Luke were getting tired. They both had some hot chocolate before going up to bed. I reminded them both to clean their teeth. I asked George if he was going to play golf tomorrow morning. He said he would, but only if we didn't have anything planned. I said it was fine. I'll have a lie-in in the morning. We both agreed that when he gets back from golf, we'd go to the cafe for breakfast. Well, more brunch really. The kids love it there at that cafe. They always have the pancakes. And George and I always have a full English breakfast with a big mug of tea. Afterwards, we'll go to the park. We'll take the car. The kids all want to take their bikes or scooters, most likely. I think I'll probably potter around the garden when we get back. There's not much to do. But I did notice a few of the shrubs needed trimming. And I'll collect a few of the fallen leaves. And I'll top up the bird feeder. George said he'll make us all a roast dinner tomorrow when we get back. Said he'll do his roast lamb. He does a really good roast lamb. Just melts off the bone. And his Yorkshire puddings. They always come out so light and fluffy. Crispy on the outside and soft in the middle. A gorgeous flavour. George made us both another brew. We decided to watch another film before calling it a night. We hadn't seen this one before, but we both thought it was really good. By the time the film had finished, it was gone 11:30. We were both tired by then. George did his usual rounds of looking up and turning off all the lights. And I did mine usual, turning off the telly and straightening up the cushions and folding the throw on the armchair. I turned off the lights and headed upstairs. On the way up, I checked in on the kids. They were both fast asleep. George was just getting settled in bed when I went in. I went to the bathroom to floss and clean my teeth. The day was really starting to catch up with me now, but I still gave my face a double cleanse. I sat at the vanity and applied a generous amount of moisturiser to my neck, face and hands. Before I got into bed, I took a quick peek out of the window. The street was quiet as usual. A few of the houses opposite still had their lights on. I set my phone on the charger. No need for an alarm in the morning. And I got into bed and switched off the lamp.